Hello everyone, you're watching SK Live. I'm your host Indranil Basu. Today we have Mr. Farokh, engineer with us, the stalwart from yesteryears who really made India proud on so many occasions in that 22 yards. Farokh sir, thanks a lot for joining on SK Live. It's such a great feeling seeing you, joining
It's
you
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to
Manchester.
talk to you. Yes.
So,
Sorry, I
so
haven't shaved for
no, it's all
about
right.
for a good few months. As you can see, my picture before and present is it before and after.
Now,
Yeah.
did you always had this sense of humor while you were playing cricket for
Well,
India?
life's not worth living without a sense of humor, is there?
Absolutely.
That's the trouble in India. We don't, we Indians don't sort of, everything is misconstrued.
Yeah.
For example, I just said about that, Anushka Sharma. I said all the selectors were offering her cups of tea or something, and it was taken in the real context. It was a joke. It was meant not at all meant to hurt Anushka or Virat. And talking about them, I'd
Yes.
like to wish them, give them all good wishes on the birth of their,
Yeah. Yeah.
new arrival, whenever it is. But that's one of
Absolutely.
your questions, isn't it? That he has been trolled for that, Virat Kohli, hasn't he?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well,
We will. We'll
the
come to that. But it's a sort of manner also. It's part of our mannerism to offer your chair or your cup of tea or coffee to a
yeah.
lady. It need not be a wife's captain or could be any lady sitting in there. It's part of our mannerism.
Exactly. It wasn't meant to be offensive at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
So
being
we
the being a gentleman that I am, that's why, you know. Anyway,
No, I mean, we talk about cricket being a game of comebacks. You know how strong you can make your comebacks. You make so many comebacks as a cricketer yourself. You have got injured.
oh
You had to
yes,
take over.
we all have our moments of madness, and we all make mistakes and this and that, and we all have our comebacks, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
My fiercest competitor was Buddhi Kundaran in my time,
Yes.
and we were looking over each other's shoulders all the time. You know,
Yeah.
although we were best of friends off the field.
Yeah.
We were really good mates, and
Yeah.
we wished each other genuine success. But at the
Yeah.
same time, when you're in the field, you try to do your best for
Ab-
yourself and your country, and he did his best too. Had he
Absolutely.
been, he could have played more years for India had he played as a brilliant batsman and a cover point fielder. We grew up both. We grew up with honorary members of CCI, and I was the wicket keeper, and he was the cover point. And we're both opening the innings and getting plenty of runs. So that's
Yes.
the way it should have continued. But
Absolutely.
India needed a wicket keeper, and Lala Amarnath, who was the chairman, hadn't seen me at that time. So Buddhi joined the railways, and that's how it. But it's a long story. But happy ending. Yeah, come
Absolutely.
back. Great recovery for our boys in Australia.
Yes. Yeah, I was
Hats off
coming to
to
that.
Ajinkya. Hats
Yeah.
off to Ajinkya Rahane and the whole team. To Ravi Shastri, I was the first to congratulate him.
Yeah.
Because I think Ravi is a tremendous guy. He's done a fantastic job with the team,
Absolutely.
and I was the first to congratulate them. And Ajinkya Rahane led from the front.
Absolutely.
That's what I liked. He
Yeah.
showed them, look here, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. He's from Mumbai, from the back streets of Mumbai, from Shivaji
Yeah.
Park. So he's a fighter. And
Absolutely.
I've known Ajinkya, not known him really well because of our age difference and all that, but I've always admired him as a fighter, and
Absolutely.
how true he came to, fantastic win for India. I hope we keep it up because
Absolutely.
Australia not the team they used to be. I mean, we got out for 36 or 39. What was that? That was a that was one of those mad moments of Indian batting. The Australian bowlers, they bowled a good line and length. They bowled on a perfect line spot, but they were waiting for our batsmen to make mistakes. And we kept on making them make the same mistakes. We weren't coming right behind the ball as we did, the other day and won the match. Yes, fabulous.
I mean, the way we came back into the series, and I remember right after the Adelaide Test match, starting from Michael Vaughan to Ricky Ponting to Michael Clark, all the Michaels in the world, they said it's going to be a clean sweep for Australia, in favor of Australia.
Yeah,
And
they were only taking the Michael. No, but I mean, it's a great way to come back, and I think it's been mentioned that would it be in the first five of all-time great comebacks.
yeah,
Yes, yes, it would be right up there with India winning the World Cup, with India winning the Test at the Oval, where I was primarily responsible with along with Chandra, who bowled
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So it
yeah.
it would it be right up there, with the best for sure.
So if you have to do a sort of a rating of all the great wins, test
Well,
wins we had,
it's difficult to rate that, but it would certainly come in the top five, six. Yeah,
it will, certainly it will. But what was really shocking was cricket is a team sport,
of
and
course.
of course it is, and when we won the Test match in Melbourne, what a script, and then people started trolling Virat Kohli. I mean, I want to know, I want to get your perspective towards this. How does it? Why does it happen like this? I mean, why
Well,
do you have to?
it's just because we are very passionate about our cricket. Like South America, they're very passionate about their football. If South America lose in football, if any of the South American countries, all their players' houses are burnt, like in India. We lose abroad or anywhere, our house is on fire the next day. So I mean, we are very passionate. But the very next day, as soon as you do well, you'll be top of the tree. You're God. So I mean, this is how passionate we are. But we can't help it. We are a country of very passionate people, and that's lovely to see that support. All the
Yeah,
foreign players say whenever they come to India and see the adulation and the support that they receive. Even foreign teams, if you're a good player, you'd be appreciated in India. So this is what we like to know winners, obviously, and but and it's great to see that, and only that passion. But trolling Virat Kohli, I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. No, I
yeah,
disagree with that.
yeah,
Why would you troll someone? He's made a personal decision. He's made a personal decision to be with his wife, to have the first child, which is not too unfair to ask for. But again, you said during a very important series. Now I've got four children. I wasn't there for any of their births. I was always playing cricket. I was playing international cricket for India.
yeah,
So in my time, it didn't happen. So that doesn't mean that it shouldn't happen now. But personally, I would have rather played for India and stuck it out, especially with India, not having done so well in the first match. So my thought would have been for my country, really. But I don't blame Virat for being with his family. This is the modern trend. I think it's just an age difference.
yeah,
So I mean, you can take it whichever you want it.
yeah.
But I was the Queen, in fact, gave me the message of my first child's birth in the long room at Lord's. If you read
Wow.
my book, you would know. You've not read my book, you naughty man. Yeah? So the first line said that it was the Queen in the long room at Lord's when her first child was born. She said, "Engineer, I've got some good news for you." And I knew that my wife was expecting, that day or any day. So I just jokingly said, "What's it, a boy or a girl, ma'am?" And I had lost my mother at a very young age, and she
Okay.
meant a hell of a lot to me. She still does. I worship my mother.
Yeah.
Our mother is Mata. You just the
Absolutely.
greatest person in the world is your mother,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
so she meant a lot to me, and she does, and she always will. So I wanted a daughter, and I was by my mom's bedside, and I could see her fading away. So she said, "Don't cry, son. I promise you, I'll come back as your first child." So I knew I was going to get a daughter. So I asked the Queen. I said, "What's it, a boy or a girl, ma'am?" She said, "What do you want?" I said, "A girl." She said, "Well, you've got one." And that's how I got the news of my first child. But I was away for all my four children's delivery. I was playing for India. So that doesn't mean that Virat Kohli has got to do that. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah.
I've been another brought in another controversy otherwise. But people can take whatever they want. But I don't blame him because that's the modern way of thinking. Yes, I said that he will be sorely missed, and of course he'll be sorely missed. He's the world's finest batsman today. So
Yeah.
I mean, I hope she delivers quickly, and he can even go back for a couple of test matches. Isn't that on the cards? So I don't know.
No, he's not going to go back. Because you have to do all this that quarantine
Quarantine and all that.
all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah. I would
there's no
imagine.
time left for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame about that. Yeah.
So
Anyway,
so this is how it is. I mean, it's his personal choice. We all respect that. But coming to white ball cricket, we are seeing a lot of talk happening that Rohit Sharma should take over from Virat, and now Ajinkya has led the side so well. There's already
yeah, yeah.
that's
No, no, no. Ajinkya
why
has
not
done
Ajinkya?
brilliant, and I don't want to see any changes there. He's done a
Yeah,
fantastic job, and he should be
yeah,
there.
yeah,
I mean, white ball cricket, red ball cricket, they can only bowl one ball at a time. They've got bowlers, they've got a ball in their hands. The batsman's got a bat. White, pink, or blue, whatever ball it is, you can see it and hit it. I mean, that's the name of the game, really. But
absolutely.
what I was surprised at the exclusion of KL Rahul,
Yes.
because I think he's a fantastic batsman, you know,
Yeah.
and lovely to see Rishabh Pant back in the team. Although Saha didn't do much wrong,
Yeah.
Saha is a very good keeper, but I was very impressed with Rishabh Pant's keeping. He kept very well and batted sensibly, very sensibly. So I think he's
Yeah.
there for a few tests now, certainly for the rest of the series. Yeah, everyone
Absolutely.
did well. It was a great team effort.
Really great team effort. There's no two ways about it. So, but a lot of people are asking questions. We'll address all those questions. But what it takes to become a good captain at the highest level, in your opinion?
Man management, that's the most important thing. You got
Okay.
to treat every player differently. Every player
Yeah.
has his own whims and fancies. Every player likes, their own corner or whatever it is. A good captain should understand that. That's psychology. It's man management. He's got to study every player's. The captaincy is not only on the field, placing fielders here and there or changing bowlers, but he's got to attend to the whims and fancies of all his players, at least of all his, and unite them into one team, because this is a team game at the end of the day. So a good captain necessarily doesn't mean the best batsman or the best bowler in the team.
Yes. Yes.
We had a captain at Lancashire called Jack Bond.
Okay.
We won so many trophies, and the side was full of stars. Clive Lloyd, David Lloyd, myself, Peter Lever. We had about 10 test cricketers in the team, but Jack Bond was the only thing. I can't ever remember seeing him bat or bowled, except he held one catch in the 10, 11 years I was there. He held one diving catch at Lords of Asif Iqbal that helped us beat Kent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his man management was superb, and he was one of the best captains I played under, in England. For India, one of the best captains I played under was Polly Umbriga.
Okay.
Polly was, a lot of people ask me, Pataudi or Wadikar. I mean, in Pataudi's case or Wadikar's case, I should be saying this, but I used to do 80 or 90% of the captaincy from behind the stumps.
Okay.
Not much was spoken, but we had a great rapport with Ajit and with Tiger, and just our eyes met and a bowling change or Sol could come in a little closer or wherever. So, I mean, these things, a wicketkeeper plays a hell of an important job because he
Absolutely.
knows exactly what the pitch is doing, what
Yeah.
the batsman's strengths and weaknesses are, what the
Yeah.
bowler is capable of doing. The pitch is turning, how much is turning. So, to adjust the fielders and all that. So, I mean, we had
So,
a very good rapport. So,
but your best captain you're saying is Polly Umrigar. Any other captain which really captured your imagination? You really like the way he captains the side. Did Kapil Dev, Dhoni, Azharuddin,
yeah,
Virat
Dhoni.
Kohli?
Dhoni again, very cool and calm.
Yeah.
He didn't get sort of, perturbed by anything really around him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hats off. I thought wicket keepers were all bulldozers. But Dhoni was a cool, calm, and collected guy. Great
Yeah.
guy, great friend of mine also.
Yes.
and a lot of mutual, respect for each other. And fantastic the way he led the team and all that. But cricket is a game of evolution. Great players will come and go. People
Yeah.
will talk about Dhoni today. In 50 years, perhaps young kids won't know who Dhoni was, like they don't know who Farokh Engineer is. Or so I mean,
No, it's not
you
like
got
that.
no, no,
It's not
you
like
got to accept that. You got to accept that there's the present generation, the present crop of players that
yeah.
the young kids wanted to be a Sachin Tendulkar many
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they want to be Virat Kohli. So I mean, their priorities change, and you can't blame them for it. They can only admire who they see, and once you're in the background, so they rightly say you're as good or bad as the last innings you played or something. People have short memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, your first memories of MS Dhoni. I mean, he was so
When
much.
he first came on the scene, I kept on hearing about this boy from Ranchi, smashing the ball all over the place, and a wicket keeper as well.
Yeah.
And to have met him, and he always jokingly, when he introduced me to his wife, also, he jokingly said that, this is Farokh Engineer. You wouldn't know, of course, but thank God he's not keeping wickets today. Otherwise, I would have been still punching tickets on Ranchi station. You know, he was joking about it, surely, surely. And I said, no, I hugely admire you, MS.
Yeah.
And what a great ambassador for cricket he's been. What a great captain for India he's been, winning the World Cup and winning with such dignity. I've
Yes.
always admired MS Dhoni, hugely admired him immensely, as I've admired Sachin.
Yeah.
Sachin is a great ambassador for the game. You know,
No
one of
doubt
the
about
finest
it.
batsmen ever produced. I've
Yeah.
admired Kapil Dev. Again,
Yeah.
Kapil, great. I thought he was the best all rounder, better than Richard Hadley, Botham, Imran Khan, you know, and all the rest. I was a bit biased as well. We Indians got to stick together.
You were
But
honest and biased.
no, but I was at Canterbury when Kapil got that runs against Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Yeah.
That's
175.
right. We were right in the doldrums. I was the only Indian commentator, and all these Angrez commentators were, of course, India rubbish and all that. But till Kapil there, and they couldn't believe it. I was the only Indian commentator sort of flying our flag, so to say. And if you see the film '83, I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but Boman Irani
Yeah.
is playing the part of Farokh Engineer as a commentator.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that film. When is it coming out?
So I hopefully next year, hopefully we are able to see that movie inside a
Can you hear
cinema
me
hall.
properly? Because your voice is crackling to me.
No, can you hear me? I can hear you.
No, I can't
Loud
hear
and
you
clear.
at all now. I think you're talking Tamil to me now.
No, no, no.
But
I'm still with the Queen's English. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now.
Yes. No, I was saying it could be happening sometime next year, which is going to start from tomorrow. We hopefully, we're going to go
Okay,
inside the
yeah,
auditorium and see the
yeah.
movie. I mean, that's
I'm
what
looking
we are.
forward to it because Baman Irani, who's my dear buddy, is playing my part, and I don't think there's any better person to take the mickey out of me than he is.
But the way you kept wickets, for India, so many. Did you see any other wicket keeper? Did you see any reflection of Farokh Engineer in any other wicket keepers which came after your time?
Yes, my chela, Kiri,
Okay.
Kirmani was very, very good wicket. He was a very capable wicket keeper.
Yeah.
He was my understudy for a long time. He was even my roommate for ages. Such a lovely character, Kiri. Cheerful,
Yeah.
bubbly character.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, I'm sure by watching, I learnt. Unfortunately, in Indian cricket, there weren't other many great keepers who I could
Yeah.
emulate. So
Yeah.
I emulated Godfrey Evans of England, who was one of my heroes, wicket-keeping heroes. No?
Yeah.
And so I tried to pick up points from him. Like Kiri must have, he always said that he picked up a few, points from me. But again, he was Kirmani, I was engineer. So I mean, it's a different But I have huge admiration for Kerry's wicket keeping. He's the only one that really came up. But then selectors started picking batsmen wicket keepers. And I don't blame them because there was more and more one-day cricket, T20 and all that, where you need all-rounders. So a batsman who could also keep wickets started
Yeah.
coming in the fold. And Dhoni was one of them. But my
Yeah.
word, he improved tremendously Rishabh Pant has come in as a batsman wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
But again, his wicketkeeping has improved, immensely. So lovely to see that. Saha, everyone was writing him off as a wicketkeeper only. But what an
Yeah.
innings he played in the IPL.
Yeah.
He played a fantastic innings there.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
surprised, frankly. I didn't think Saha could bat so well. So
Yes. Yes.
anyone who puts his mind to it,
Yeah.
even Jeff Boycott, the most dullest and the most boring batsman in the world ever to keep wickets to. I used to fall asleep when he used to bat. I used to tell him, hit the bloody ball. I said, typical Yorkshire accent. He used to tell me, not to do with thee. And he used to complain, Dickie Bird, that Farokh sledging me from behind. I said, I'm not sledging. I'm just asking him to hit the ball. He's been blocking half volleys and full tosses to play for his averages. But I have seen him when Yorkshire needed quick runs. He's played some tremendous knocks for Yorkshire. So he was capable of hitting. All he was too scared of losing his wicket. So, perhaps Saha took a leaf from that and, played such a magnificent innings in the IPL. I was surprised.
So in your time, what we are told that, collecting the ball on the leg stump was unheard of. And you could, do stumping, you could do catches.
Yeah.
So
one of my main stumpings was off an off spinner when the right-hand batsman tries to drive, and the foot, if he misses it, the foot is raised slightly. Even if the foot is raised half an inch and you collect the ball, it's a very quick stumping. Unfortunately, there was no DRS or thing in my time. I would have had twice as many victims because the number of batsmen are stumped down the leg side, and the umpires would be suddenly see by the time they see the foot is in the crease, but they miss that fraction of a second whilst driving, the foot is raised and then put down. So I would have got a lot more victims had the umpires kept their eyes open, or
So, but wickets have become a lot more easier to keep these days, isn't it? That's also there. In your time, it was really
wicket-keeping gloves are so much better these days. They're so much more supple. In my time, they were so hard. And all the members of the team took turns to bash the gloves.
I can imagine.
Yeah, sure. Like we used to oil the bats in my time. I'm showing my age now. Oil the bats. Now no one oils bats. Straight away play.
Yeah.
But again, these guys get about 20, 30 bats at a time they carry in the bag. We had one bat. One bat. That too we bought with our money. We used to get 50 rupees a day playing Test cricket.
Yeah.
50 rupees a day. Nowadays you think it's a joke. But it's great for the cricket. I think people like Sunil Gavaskar and all advocated that players should earn more money. It was only the officials making more money those days.
Yeah.
And players used to lose out.
Yeah.
But like Sachin Tendulkar, there's a lovely story about him that with all the wealth he's amassed, this bank clerk tries to get him to open a credit card. So he's asking routine questions. He said, Mr. Tendulkar, are your earnings in excess of 300,000 rupees or something like that? And Sachin shrugged his shoulders and says, some days yes, some days no. He said, it's money. Cricket equipment has, improved all the time. The bats, gloves, pads, everything, The box, we used to have a pink plastic box that you wore where all players had to. And so that was worn since 1968. The helmets came into force only in 1978. Sorry, 1868 and 1968. Why did it take 100 years for batsmen to realize The brains are just as precious as the other parts. So I mean, it makes you the mind boggles. Yeah.
So, I missed out on that part because I will get a copy of your book also to know more about the Farokh engineer, the man who gives so much to Indian cricket, and someone who's really known for his guts on the field. So, I mean, you've seen so many cricketers, generation of cricketers after retired. Uh, any cricketer you call him gutsy. He's the gutsy cricketer. Love to see him play again and again for that team. Any particular cricketer which comes to your mind?
Yes, certainly. Dilip Vengsaka would come to my mind straight away.
Yeah.
Anyone who scored 300s at
Yeah.
Lords against
Yes.
England has to be good.
Yeah.
The technique, the two best techniques I've seen, apart from the Sachins of this world. Sachin was a phenomenon, huge class. But the best techniques, purely as a technique, people talk about Rahul Dravid as the wall, and Dilip Vengsaka would be the same. Tremendous coaching. And it's fantastic to see Dilip as his own cricket academies where he can impart that knowledge to youngsters. So how
Yes.
beneficial is that? We never
Yes.
had any coaching schemes in our time. So youngsters should take advantage of these things. Bishan Bedi, the great bowler, he's had his own academy as well. So it's
Yes.
lovely that they're imparting the knowledge passing knowledge onto youngsters. That can only be good for Indian cricket, for the future of Indian cricket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. These legends have so much. In fact, in North India, there isn't any cricketer who hasn't been a part of Bishan Singh Bedi's camp, from Yuvraj to everyone.
Yeah. But we were talking about money earlier, 50 rupees a day. But
Yes.
thank God, I was asked to advertise for commercial products, and one being Brill Cream. I don't know if you read in the book, but Brill
No,
Cream
I get a copy of
the only Dennis Compton from England and
Yeah.
Keith Miller from Australia,
Miller.
two
Yeah.
flamboyant cricketers, and I was the third person invited by Brill Cream to model for them. And I was paid
Wow.
£2,000 those days, which I thought, well, I hit the jackpot, And the Brill Cream boxes were coming. All my friends were saying, "Arey, ek bottle milega kya?" The bottle ka dabba le jao yaar. So we used to Brill Cream that, and their sales also went up, immensely.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was that was my savior to a certain extent. But you played for the pride of playing for your country. You didn't play for the money. Money never entered into our heads.
Absolutely. It's never going to be the motivating factor. I mean, wearing that Indian jersey means so much.
Sure. Absolutely right. That's
Yeah.
the way it has to be. But what is sad to see so many young players, I've heard them actually say that they'd rather play IPL than
Yes.
play for India, which is
That's a
sad.
fact.
Which is sad because it's cricket that has given Indian cricket that has given them the qualification to play for IPL. So
Absolutely.
okay, play IPL by all means. I would have loved to play in the IPL. We are the envy of the world. There is
Yeah.
no other T20 league in the world that compares anywhere near IPL. They've done a tremendous job over the years. I was the first match referee at Eden
Yes.
Gardens,
Yes.
and Billy, the New Zealand umpire with the bent finger, what's it called? Billy, he tried to call the game off. Billy Bowden.
Yes.
And I said no, because there was a wet patch in one of the corner of the field. I said the match will be played over my dead body. I said, first IPL, we were the showcase of the world. The
Yes.
whole world wanted to see us fail. See the IPL failed because of jealousy. England first started T20 cricket, but they didn't have Bollywood and cricket as the most popular things India had. And hats off to the people who recognized that and started off the IPL. What a huge success is that, that has been. Where that first match when Brendan McCallum got a fantastic 100, if you remember, and that set the tone for the IPL.
Absolutely.
That the popularity of the IPL. So I jokingly tell my friends that had I not been the match referee, an IPL match would have been cancelled as per the umpire's wish. IPL may never have taken off. God forbid.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it was a tremendous success. And
Absolutely.
IPL, I hope, will go from places to play, to higher kudos for sure.
Absolutely. But tell me, do you think IPL has helped Indian cricket skill wise? Because when
Yes, it
once
has actually. It has given the younger people confidence to rub shoulders with the Australian players, England players, West Indies players. So it's made them. You find there's less, excuse me, sledging also going on these days, because they
yes,
all play for different franchises.
yeah,
They get friendly, and even that rubs off in a test match sometimes.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think one of the commentators mentioned, the Australian player and Indian player Rishabh Pant were laughing about something. He said, "There's so
yes,
much friendliness." He said,
yeah.
"Yeah, until he comes out to bat, he's going to get some bounces." Sure, you expect that. You give no inch, you take no inch. It's dog eat dog out in the field. You got a ball in your hands, I've got a bat. So let's battle it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is also a thought process that the Australian players, the English players, they don't sledge the Indians anymore because they fear they lose
Because
the
of
IPL.
IPL, again, they want contracts in the IPL, you see.
Yeah,
But the thing is that what annoys me,
yeah,
that we, before the IPL, I mean, I've experienced in England,
yeah,
we were, excuse to use the word, we were bloody Indians, and my heart used to boil. How dare they call us bloody Indians? You
yeah,
know, they still thought we were a third rate country and all that. But IPL has got them so much to respect us more, because they earn, half the Australian squad are in India all the time, coaching or commentating or this and that. They're making millions of dollars there. So naturally, they've got to bow down to India,
yeah.
and they
And
have.
when you said the Indian coaches are doing well, the current setup, there was a notion, there was a sort of thought process of Saurav Ganguly when he was the GC member of the
Yeah.
IPL. He wanted every IPL team should have an Indian coach,
Yes,
and
I think he's absolutely right, because we have some very good players. We've got some very good coaches. Just because one is a Gora, Australian or English, doesn't make him a better person or a better coach.
yeah,
Sure, he may have experience, but if he is so good, have an Indian coach just under him so he can learn the ropes. But we got enough qualified players in India to be very good coaches. You
yeah,
know, I mean, so I mean, why look abroad? Surely
well,
I'm
look,
all for Indian coaches.
yeah. So we are getting questions from viewers saying, asking who's a better finger spinner, Bishan Singh Bedi or Harbhajan Singh?
Well, one was a left-hander, one is a right-hander.
Yeah.
So it must be someone from Punjab who's asked that question. I think
The
they're both
Mr.
different bowlers, But Bishan
Dayal
Bishan
Das.
Bedi Bishan Bedi was a legend in his own right. You know, Bhaji, again, outstanding bowler, very very good bowler.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would be in the class of Bishan Bedi. Bishan was a phenomenon. There won't be two Bishan Bedis. He was unique on his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
What's
So
the other
then,
question?
Ritesh Srivastava is asking, should Rohit be the white ball captain while keeping Virat as red ball captain?
Hello, Ritesh. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Ajinkya Rahane has enjoyed so much success at the moment.
Yes.
You know,
That's
so why depose him of captaincy? Rohit is always there with him to guide him if need be. And Ajinkya is the type who will take. But Rohit is a tremendous, IPL captain. He's the most successful captain. So I mean,
yeah.
there's a good case of having him to captain you know, in the T20s and all that, and Ajinkya maybe in the tests. I don't know. That's a selector's headache. Which
No,
is
no,
a
but
good.
yeah, the question is that should Rohit be made white ball captain and Virat should stay as a red ball captain? It's not Rahane captaining the test team. It's
I know, but Rahane again has enjoyed so much success. So
yes,
how can you
three.
depose him?
Yes,
He loses confidence, poor chap. And
yeah,
we don't want to do that. That might affect his batting also.
yeah,
Sure, Virat was a red ball captain, And Rohit, white ball captain, makes sense. Till Ajinkya proved that he can also captain very well. So
Yeah.
it's a very good question, actually. So I'll let the selectors do that, share that headache. But I
Yeah,
admire you for asking that question.
and then he's asking, Ritesh is again asking, did you keep to Shivalkar and Rajendra Goel ever?
Yes, yes, I kept Rajendra Goel and Padmakar Shivalkar, and they were both outstanding bowlers.
Yeah.
And had it not been for Bishan Bedi, both of them would have been regulars in Test cricket because Shivalkar was a great spinner of the ball, and I kept to him a lot. And Rajendra Goel was superb. So, I mean, very, very excellent bowlers.
Sir,
But
Rahane
unfortunately,
the
there were
captain.
time in the time of Bishan Bedi, who was, you know, the first choice SLA, the slow left arm spinner. Yeah.
So Rahane the captain, Rahane the batsman. Which one impressed you the most in the Melbourne Test?
Both. Both. But as a batsman, he impressed me more.
Yeah.
Captaincy, okay. He had one or two things that I didn't quite agree with. For
Yeah.
example, when we were in the second innings, when we were leading by a huge margin on that wicket, on the wicket, it was a huge total for the Australians to get. But
Yeah.
still, he kept the mid on and mid off right on the boundary line for Stark and all these guys. If I was the captain, I would have dangled a carrot to them. Go on, try and hit a six. MCG has long boundaries. It's a big ground. So I would have got the fielders 10 yards in, giving the batsmen little hope that I might hit it over his head and tempt him to do that. So a better captain would have probably done that. I would have done that. But you can't take away any credit from Rahane. He's done very well. But as a batsman, I appreciate him more because it was his fighting qualities as a batsman that inspired the team.
Absolutely. And what was striking was in the second innings, they were down with actually 3.5 bowlers. Umesh wasn't doing. Jadeja is not a full timer. He's a batting all rounder playing in the
Jadeja
team.
bowled very well, I thought. No,
He bowled well.
People call him a one-day bowler and all that. Yes, he's predominantly a one-day bowler because he doesn't really flight the ball. He bowls it quick.
Yes.
He's there to restrict the batsman from getting runs.
Yeah.
That's his main job, and wait for the batsman's mistakes.
Yeah.
And the Australian batsmen were very, very great. Gratefully they made mistakes, and he got a couple of wickets. But otherwise, he's more a containment bowler, Ravindra. But what innings he played also.
Yes, absolutely.
My only hope is that when is the next Test match, by the way?
Starting from January 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I hope we keep it up. I hope we don't lose the momentum. And I hope we don't lose. Our boys must be brimming with confidence. The Australians' heads were down. And that's what we should try and always keep that. So we should get a good start, batting or bowling. We've got one of the finest bowling attacks in the world. Bumrah is bowling out of his skin. Superb. He's quick. He swings the ball both ways. Unfortunately, Umesh Yadav, I don't know whether I hope he's all right for the next Test.
He's not there. He's not for the series.
Yeah. Yeah. But we saw Mohammad Siraj has come and done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I believe he lost his father while he was on tour.
Yes.
And he stayed on. No, I just, my heart goes to him. And I hugely admire him for that decision. He must have spoken to his dear mum, who must have said, no, your dad, they're from a very humble family, aren't they? So your dad wants you to play for India and do well. And that will be your gift to him. So
Absolutely.
He stayed on. And my word, when he got his first wicket, he must have just looked up in the heavens and said, thank God, thank Dad. I hope you're watching this. Brings tears to my eyes. But the boy stayed there and played for India, which is, and still playing. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. This is one area we have been doing so well.
Again, your voice.
No, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. I'm saying this is one area, our bowling department, which has been the bowlers have been doing so well in last 4-5 years that we've seen, and in Test cricket taking those 20 wickets so regularly, and all credit to the bowling coach the support staff, they've held the thing. It's very easy to go out there and do it in 1 or 2 games, and they're doing it series after series.
They're doing
So
it consistently. Ravi Shastri gets all the credit for appointing the right people and all that. But again, they've got to be consistent. We've got to keep it up. We've got a very good bowling attack. We've got a very good batting attack. Any batting team that can avoid a batsman like KL Rahul, I think he's a class player, KL. And I'm really surprised. But who can you drop? Who can you pick? The opening batsman is a bit. He's not been getting many runs, is he?
Yeah, Mayank Agarwal. Yeah,
not Mayank Agarwal, the other guy from P.
Prithvi Shaw is dropped after the first Test match.
Sure, yeah.
Mayank
He didn't really inspire a lot of confidence, unfortunately. His time will come. His time will come in future. But I don't know where he can fit in Rahul. But he can also keep wickets. But you can't drop Rishabh Pant. You got a regular wicket keeper. I would play KL Rahul as a batsman. So even opening, maybe he could open. But
so Rohit is going to come. Probably they'll do their
which is tremendous.
Shubman Gill was good.
He was very good. He played with confidence, upright, and played confidently. Not afraid to play shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we need gutsy people to give it back to the opposition. And Shubman Gill impressed me very much, and superb. So we got good depth in batting. We got good depth in bowling. Our fielding was a bit disappointing because we dropped quite a few, fairly easy chances.
That was in the first match.
The Australians were supposed to be brilliant in fielding. They dropped some very easy chances. That happens. But let's hope we gel as a team once again in the next Test match and the matches to follow. And we give the Australians the run for the money. The Australians are down at the moment. India are on a momentum. So they should maximize and take advantage of that and hit the nail, harder.
So what was your thoughts? What were your thoughts when we lost the opening Test match and were all out for 36?
The thing is, you got to have a fighting spirit. Okay, we had a bad day at the office, but we're not going to have a bad day again. You carry it on. You fight, makes you fight harder. Makes you more resolute. But come on, we are not that bad a side. We can give them a run for the money, and we did that, and we beat them at the Oval. So
absolutely,
they should have the same mentality, fighting spirit.
Yeah. Sir, do you think the generation of Indian cricketers who are going to come in days to come in Indian cricket and the current generation, do you think they should also give it a thought of playing county cricket that gives you an all-round development for a cricket?
I can't express how important it is to play county cricket. How it improved my game. I didn't go for the lure of money or for the lure of dollars, foreign exchange or something. I went there to improve my cricket. So that I can serve my country better. But a lot of people held it against me. I was deprived of the captaincy as well, and so many bad things that have happened to me. But I'm a fighter. I've always been. I get knocked down, I get up and I'll fight again. That's the way everyone should be. They should take a leaf from my book really there and try and prove harder that no. Why have they dropped me? Or why is this not good? I'll strive harder. And I took huge pride in playing for my country. There's although I live abroad, I live in England, but there's no prouder Indian than me living abroad, believe me. Whenever I hear our national anthem here also, I will stand up and bow down. Because this is my country. Hamara Desha, India. I'm always been an Indian at heart. All my family, my wife is English and all that, but they know how Indian I am. So they've all become Indians, naturally, you got to brainwash them, haven't you? In the right way.
So I hope they're not listening to you live right now.
No, they agree with me there. Yeah.
No, but when we talk about Farokh Engineer, sir, we also know that your background, you love flying. You also have a
Yes,
pilot
I spent
license. I thought you
pilot,
just one
yes.
time took a flight and went to England forever.
That's a good one. No, I mean, in while you're at university, you're a choice of joining NCC, Army, Navy, or Naval Wing or Air Force,
Yeah.
and I joined the Air Wing later on, and then flying was always my hobby. I wanted to be a pilot by profession, so I was a qualified pilot, in fact,
Yeah.
and it was either flying or I was going to join the Air Force. I was selected for the jet squadron there, for the fighter jet squadron, but my mother was very instrumental in saying, no, you are a very reckless boy. She knew me better than anyone else. She said, in flying, you can't have recklessness.
Yeah.
In cricket, you can get reckless, get out, and you get another innings. But in flying, you won't get another innings, if you're reckless in the sky. So she said, no, and I was at the same time offered contracts by 4 English counties,
Yes.
Worcestershire, Somerset, Hampshire, and Lancashire. And that time, I thought this is a great opportunity for me to improve my cricket and go and play in England, because no cricketer is complete till he gets runs and wickets in England. Because the pitch is over here, there's more humidity, you need better technique to play here. You can't hit shots on the rise all the time like you can do in India or Australia or the Caribbean. You got to have a good technique. And that's why anyone who gets runs in England, I admire hugely. That's why I'm a great admirer of Dilip Vengsaka. Three
Absolutely.
centuries at Lords. Fantastic, phenomenal. And our England victory at the Oval when we beat England for the first time.
Yeah.
That would be very, very high in the rankings of our victory.
Absolutely.
I don't think the modern generation would realize that, but
71.
but Illingworth, who was the captain, did make a joke and said that India had an advantage playing in England. They were playing in front of a home crowd, because majority were Indians. But I must tell you, after the victory, next day, the boys were celebrating. Ajit and the boys were a ticker tape welcome back in Mumbai. I had to go back to county cricket, and next morning, I was opening the innings with David Lloyd against Yorkshire or someone like that, and predominantly English crowd there gave me a standing ovation.
Wow.
And I thought, I've just shafted their country the day before, and these same people are giving me a standing ovation, which is, I thought, very, very, very sporting of them, really.
Absolutely. I mean, if someone is skill-wise so brilliant, I mean, of course, people will give you a standing ovation. There's no two ways about it. No,
Very
but
nice.
which was your favorite county team when you
Lancashire,
played?
of course. Lancashire.
Yeah.
There's no other county team. Lancashire had recently had all-time legends. Legends means people who have really, really done the best for Lancashire ever, or in international cricket or what. There were 4 people, and out of that, I was one of them. Clive
Wow.
Lloyd was one. So first time Lancashire legends. So I'm officially, apart from being a senior vice president of the club, I'm a Lancashire legend as well, which is a huge honor. People in India wouldn't recognize this sort of thing, but over here, it's very, very big, very, very unique. And people from Lancashire, Saurav Ganguly has played for Lancashire, Murli has played for Lancashire, Wasim Akram has played for Lancashire. So many foreign cricketers have played for Lancashire. But
Absolutely.
I was one to get this award, which is great, very, very graciously.
And you served them so well. You performed.
Yes,
And
performed. Yeah, I mean, Brian Statham has written in his one of his articles or something that he and I used to enjoy a glass of Guinness and milk. What a combination, Guinness and milk after the game. Boy from Bombay, never touched any alcohol at that stage. Suddenly in Lancashire, after the game, sitting with the great Brian Statham after a match, kicking off our shoes and sitting in our socks and in our cricket clothes, while the crowds were dispersing. He was a very thirsty man. He loved his Guinness. And he said, add some milk to it. I said, what, Guinness and milk? He said, yes, we'll give you energy and all that. And I thought it was good enough for Brian Statham. It can be good enough for Farokh Engineer. So I started it, and I liked it, so I carried on. So, and he used to always tell me that I wish you were behind the stumps for me throughout my career, I would have finished with twice as many victims. Someone like Brian Statham telling me that gave me so much confidence. And he said that in public. Yeah. I think he's written in his book as well. So, I mean, and he had great wicket keepers like Godfrey Evans and, before Alan Knott. And playing again for the World 11 was a huge honor for me. The selectors being Sir Don Bradman, Sir Len Hutton, Sir Frank Worrell, being the number one wicket-keeper batsman in the world.
Absolutely.
With great pride for my country and for me. So these are the great honors, the laurels that you can rest on for an 83-year-old man shivering in England at the moment. It's snowing outside as I'm talking to you. It's snowing.
It's okay.
Yeah. And New Year's Eve, of course, let me wish you and all our viewers a very, very happy New Year.
Yeah, I
and
know.
Let's hope 2021 is a much better year than what we've seen in the past. So we can only look ahead and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. We also hope that
with God's wishes, yes, I hope India will keep on playing. I know you were saying that. I'm sure the boys will be brimming with confidence now.
Yes.
So,
So what's your scoreline like? You're expecting 1-1 right now, leveled. So 2 more test matches to go.
Yeah, I'm not very good for predictions or
Okay.
may the best team win, and absolutely. I hope the best team is India.
Yeah.
Naturally, I would love. I'll get up. I'll get up at about 2 or 3 in the morning and watch the match. My wife thinks I'm mad. You've given up playing 50 years ago, but still India are playing. Whenever India play in England, I watch them all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just want to see my country do well. It makes me hugely proud when India do well. I'm the saddest man in the world when India do badly. Believe me, I'm not a gambling man or anything like that. No? So predictions and all that don't matter much to me. But
no, this is
our boys.
Your hunch. I was asking.
Yeah.
So, but it was really a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah.
Time out.
Some very important questions. Thank our viewers for asking questions as well.
Yeah.
And I wish each and every one of you a very happy New Year and God bless you.
Happy New Year to you also, sir.
Thank you.
And keep watching cricket and keep sharing your sentiments. Great having a chat with you, sir.
Absolute
Take care.
Pleasure. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.